Good day and welcome to another episode of the Stretford End. It is me once again, your host, Session Johnson, and let me first of all say that from a footballing perspective, I am not in the best of moods, but we'll get right into it. On the very first thing that I want to say is the Reds do go marching on. We go on into the quarterfinals of the FA Cup, which is something that we decided to do the hard and long way around. And thank you to McTominay, who came on as a super sub and done what he needed to do. But we'll definitely get into that later on in the video. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I definitely ask that you guys please continue to like, share, and subscribe for more content so that we can reach more football fans right across the world. So, in terms of the predicted starting 11 that I had, I was only off by one player, and that was Rashford starting in what I thought of. I thought maybe Rashford would get a rest, but nevertheless, that was not the case. So, today I want to talk about the performance last night, and I want to go through the team on an individual basis. Dean Henderson didn't have much to do, but when called upon, he did his job and he stayed concentrated throughout the game, so there's not much to comment on his performances. Yes, there has been moments where he had to be on his toes when the clearance from Wan-Bissaka went over our own crossbar. The moment where Maguire seemed to leave it for him and almost allowed, the West Ham player to, attack Dean Henderson. So that would have been a complete shambles. But moving on to the left hand side, I predicted that Alex Telles would start, and I was correct in saying that, and he done well. In the time that he was on, he was positionally sound. His balls into the box were not there because he didn't get the opportunity to cross them, but when he did, it was always dangerous balls into the box. He tried to push forward. He tried incisive passes, to break defensive lines. And I think that he did well enough to finish the game, but perhaps maybe Ole doesn't trust him enough. Hence the reason why we saw in the latter stages Luke Shaw coming on. And that's a decision that I don't think should have been made. It wasn't necessary. I don't think we needed Luke Shaw in that game, as Alex Tellens was not doing anything wrong. So from that perspective, I think Ole perhaps does not trust Alex Tellens as much as he does Luke Shaw. Moving along, the centre-back partnership of Maguire and Lindelof was not the greatest last night. Let's be honest, there were moments where they looked shaky, moments where they looked disjointed and not communicating, and it could have cost us, but in the end they got their clean sheet and they deserved it, for the defensive work that they did. Wan-Bissaka, we know what he did and what he has done. He has done well once again. For some reason, he just cannot be beaten in a one-on-one. And yes, he tried to venture forward from time to time, but didn't get the necessary service that was needed for our forwards to actually latch onto. Moving along in midfield, he started with Fred and with Matic, which I don't think is a combination. Both are left-footed players naturally, and both tend to be more in the defensive side of our team. And Matic is quite slow, so he kind of slows down our midfield. And having Fred, Matic, and Van der Beek in midfield is very disjointing, as the three of them have not really played together, so they don't know each other's movements, they don't know each other's ways to find space, and the way that each other's game is and their strengths. And that was seen last night, as our midfield was quite disjointed. Donny found himself in various good positions, but Fred and Matic never saw him because they do not know, his movement. They did not look out for him. And, moving along from that, players like Rashford and Martial both wanting to cut in onto the inside didn't help because it kind of closed the space down for Donny to work in to be that number 10 for us. And the moments that he did get on the ball, he was quite simple, he was precise, he knew what he wanted to do, but he never really got into the game as what he wanted. And that is simply because of the space that was closed down by the West Ham players, who had a bank of 4 in the midfield and a bank of 5 at the back. And, like I said, Rashford and Martial cutting in, closing down the spaces, not allowing Donny van der Beek to play. And there was no running in behind from a Rashford or a Martial which is something that they needed to do so that Donny could get the space to play, so that Fred and Matic could move a bit more up, thus moving our defensive line up and us allowing them to camp in their half and us continually putting pressure on them. Last night it seemed like the players did not want to play. They did not seem to turn up. They were very slow, lethargic. They didn't feel like it was a game. I feel sorry for those who had to stay up and had to get up early for work to watch that. It was a dreadful performance. It was a performance that probably made every United fan moody. I was listening to someone, and his name is Adam McCullough. He basically said that he doesn't even know why he's watching this game, because the players that we have on the field are capable enough to perform way, way better than what they did. And that is something that needs to be looked at. Our passing was completely abysmal. It was literally, after 3 passes, we lose the ball. We didn't look like a team that was playing together. We completely looked out of it. Why Rashford and Martial never got taken off in the second half is something that I cannot process, because their performances were bad. Yes, they have good records. Yes, we know what they can do, in the heat of the moment. But if you are performing badly, you need to be taken off. You are not affecting the game, and that means someone else on the bench can come on. I saw that Diallo was on the bench, and I predicted him to be, on the bench. And I was hoping that Ole would put him on, for either Rashford or Martial. But he brought on Cavani, which I think was something that helped us. But we needed someone on the right wing. Taking Greenwood off was not the best decision. He was one of our most influential players. The only thing that Rashford did right was the layoff for McTominay's goal. That was it. It was the one moment of quality that he showed. But for the rest of the game, he was trash. He had a bad game, and so too Martial. Cavani, when he came on, also gave the ball away from time to time. So last night's performance is something that there's not much to speak about. We take the win, we move on. As I've said, the Reds do go marching on, and we definitely take it from there. In the beginning, I felt that McTominay's substitution was not needed, because we didn't need a change in midfield. We needed a change going forward, and that is why I wanted Traore to come on the right if you were going to take Greenwood off. But instead, he took off Greenwood and he decided to put on Brandon Williams and taking off Wan-Bissaka, which was very, very weird again. A decision that didn't need to be made, but it looked as if Wan-Bissaka was a bit tired or he had an injury, but we'll definitely hear about that as the time goes on. But nevertheless, as I've said, we take the win, we move on, and we move on to West Brom on the weekend, which definitely will be an even more difficult game. As they are fighting the relegation, they will definitely sit back and make it even more difficult for us to play through. When Bruno came on, there was a bit of, drive and a bit of push from the team. But even Bruno looked tired. You could see there was one pass that he made and his legs just gave in. He doesn't look like a player that is completely wanting to, do more physically, because mentally he is tired. He's played every single game in this game for us, and he's carried us just like Eric Cantona has. And because the games are coming quick and fast, it's difficult for him to recover, but we hope that they will get enough recovery time for the game on the weekend, because West Brom will be a difficult game. But that is it from me and the Stretford Inn. Thank you very much, guys, for watching. I definitely do appreciate the support. Definitely give it a like, give a subscribe and a share. Leave any comments in the comment section below, so we can definitely push the channel and get more content. It is bye from me and the Stretford Inn.